Hey friends, welcome to another edition of Big Al's Rockin' Podcast. I would like to welcome back author Martin Popoff. Oh, Martin Popoff to the show. We've got the stutter out of the way, I hope. Let's move on. Martin
Yeah.
has written over 100 books on hard rock, heavy metal, classic rock, and record collecting. And today we're going to talk about the Kiss book, Kiss 1976, 12 months that defined the hottest band in the land, which will be available in bookstores and online tomorrow, February 24th. How you doing, Martin?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, Al.
Always a pleasure. This book is divided into month by month sections. Can you give a brief overview of each section?
Yeah. So what I did is it does go month by month, and then there's like three categories in each month. So the main category is what is Kiss doing this month? And there's tour dates usually and big pictures and the whole kind of layout of what's happening. Then we've got some special sections for the actual albums that happen. So we've got Destroyer, we've got Originals, we've got Rock and Roll Over. But the other two sections are kind of my favorite of the whole thing because it is called Kiss 76. It's really a love letter to 1976 in total. And we've got a section that is all like world events, what's going on in movies and TV and world events and politics and sports, just all the big world events of 70 of that month. And then another section is what's going on in the music business. So who is Kiss competing with? What else is out there? What are the big stories this month? Big albums coming out this month, big tours this month, which is kind of almost my funnest part of this whole thing because I wanted it to show that there were other things going on besides Kiss throughout this year. It was a major year for Kiss, but I kind of wanted to put things in perspective, and I even watched some YouTube video shows on the year 1976, and I watched one that was an hour long. And a little bit of music and film and all that was mentioned. Kiss wasn't even mentioned in the whole thing. So it just shows like, that you got to keep this all in perspective. And that's why it's all about the entirety of 1976, but from a Kiss-centric point of view.
One of my favorite quotes that I saw on the actual promotion thing here is this is the story of 1976 by someone with way too much Kiss on the brain.
Yeah, exactly. Because what's happening is you're coming out of September 75 with Kiss Alive, and everybody's talking about Kiss. Kiss are like big heroes. In 75, I'm 12 years old. So they're out touring it. And then all of a sudden in 76, you get Destroyer with that awesome album cover and title. You've got the Kiss Army thing in there, so you can join the Kiss Army fan club. You've got Originals coming out in July of 76. We all bought that, even though we already had all the original albums. And then you got another studio album in at the end of the year in November. So there was just Kiss this definitely was the hottest year for Kiss, the most active year, the most excitement around the band is the first big year of fame for them.
So is this a book that you pitched to the publisher, or did the publisher ask you to work on it?
This was actually my idea, I believe. The idea I traces all the way back to like 10 years, maybe even longer ago. I remember just browsing the bookshelves and seeing a book on one Led Zeppelin tour. And I thought this is kind of maybe the future of these books. And then for Quarto, I've already done a full book on the Who Quadrophenia, a full book on Dark Side of the Moon. And I just thought, let's do something different here. Let's also not just make it a Kiss centric book or like all Kiss, because that's a daunting task because Kiss fans are very scholarly. They know everything about the band. There have been massive, super detailed books about Kiss. So I feel almost intimidated now. I've only done one other book on Kiss, Kiss at 50, but I would almost feel intimidated to do a book that is just on Kiss anymore, unless it had some sort of a fresh theme like this.
Right. And another thing with Kiss fans, and being one myself, I can
Yeah.
tell you they are good at telling you what you're wrong.
Yeah.
Whether, some of my favorite you're wrong arguments center around like the debut album came out in February of 74. but the actual day of the month is contested.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's pretty funny to watch the people who think they're right argue that they're right.
Yeah, yeah. Funny, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Kiss fans can definitely complain up a storm, just like Van Halen fans and Led Zeppelin fans as well. I've heard that about Metallica fans, but they seem pretty cheery to me. But yeah, Zeppelin fans, I think are the worst.
Yeah. So, how long did it take you to get from the creative idea to the finished product?
Well, boy, I'm not sure what I had going at the same time, but I always think, and it's so spread out that the answer can be a little meaningless. But if I was to say, like, in a book seminar situation of how long a book takes me, generally speaking, something like this shouldn't take me more than 2 months total working full time. I mean, probably even less than that, maybe 6 weeks total if you were working a 9 hour day, say. But it is spread over time. And there's months later, a galley comes back to edit, and then months later, a layout comes back, and then we work on captions, write all the captions. Generally, Dennis, my editor over there, will pick all the pictures, but recently I've been doing a lot more of the captions, but in the old days, he used to do them all. Um, so yeah, not particularly long. The other thing, Al, that I feel is good advice if you're going to write a book, is once you lock into it, just keep going, because if you stop for a week or two, you forget where you are, the tone of it, your methodology of finding this, and this, and laying it all out, especially something really structured like this. Like if you forget the procedure of doing, February, and you leave it a month to do March, you forget how you did it. You forget how you did the last month. So it's good to just get your nose to the grindstone once you start.
I wish I could be that motivated and write a book in the first place. So, talk about some of the people that you interviewed for this book.
Well, it's not massively interview centric, but I have talked to over the years Paul and Ace, some of the producers. I know there's a Kim Fowley quote or two in here. There might even be an Eddie Kramer. There's probably some Bill Aucoin in here as well. So it's not particularly that kind of book. I don't really have the word count to be able to do that. Also, and the other thing I always think about when I'm doing these things is, I just did Kiss at 50 not that long ago. And most of my good quotes are already in that book. So it's like I don't want to give fans the same quotes all over again. And I try to rise to the challenge, certainly with something that's a concept like this, that I'm not going to start going to the outside press. Either to quote things. I mean, I suppose I could have, but yeah, that's always a balance that I don't want to go to too much. And I'm always thinking, especially with Kiss, I'm always thinking Kiss fans are so demanding that I'm always thinking about the super knowledgeable Kiss fans as I'm writing along, and it's intimidating. But for that reason as well, I don't want to be quoting magazine articles that everybody knows, kind of thing. And that wouldn't be the case with other bands probably as much.
That's fair. Um, as you were researching this book, did you find any information or anything like that that kind of surprised you?
Well, I surprises, I would say, it was interesting to find out, for example, about that Kiss promo sampler that I didn't know existed. I'd never seen one before. And also that there were no singles from Rock and Roll Over until 1977. They all came out the following year. The things that were actually hardest, that held me up and ticked me off as like I wasted 15 times looking something up. Like when exactly did a certain toy come out? Right. I want to say something about Pop Rocks or Big Wheelie or oh, I'm going to go check. I got to put some Evil Knievel in here. And I'd go check, and it's like, oh, damn, all the stuff I remember the most was from 1974 or 75. Can't put it in. Right. So that kind of thing was not great. When something I really wanted in here and I remember from that era, it's like, well, that didn't come out until 77. So you're kind of remembering it wrong. Right. But toys were hard to research that way. And yeah, it just even TV shows, you'd go, okay, when was the pilot episode? When was the first episode? When was that episode I remember? Oh, that didn't come till 77. So there were a lot of things that kind of got disqualified. Although I do have a pretty healthy prologue section on just more or less Kiss history leading up to 76, and then an epilogue with just a little bit of what happens after.
Yeah, I've noticed that as we age, the things that we remember from our childhood, we don't remember exactly when it was.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, is there anything about this book that you want to mention that I haven't asked about?
Boy, I'm not sure. I mean, it's beautifully, beautifully laid out as usual. I mean, Motor Books just does a slam, bang up job on the layouts and just coming up with the ideas of where to put things. I mean, I loved. I think that was Dennis's idea with the how to put the tour dates in there. That looks really cool. So a lot of large pictures. I was surprised. One thing about the layout I was surprised about is that I wrote those three different things per month as equal things, and it was odd to see it all kind of along the bottom. So I kind of would have wished some of those ads for albums not by Kiss and pictures of Muhammad Ali or Idi Amin or the CN Tower or a movie poster or whatever, or a car, would have been bigger. But I see the wisdom in it. It is a Kiss book, and you want all that Kiss stuff to show up well. And there's lots and lots of pictures that I've never seen before, which is great too. So yeah, no, it's just a good, interesting, fresh concept to do. But it's a beautiful coffee table book, and even very, very discerning Kiss fans really, really seem to like it.
Very good. Talk a little bit about some of the other books that you have written.
Well, recent ones out up behind me here, big, big, huge Iron Maiden book, 666 pages, full color throughout, 400, 500 pictures, but a lot of words too. Super long book. And that Deep Purple, 7 decades of Deep Purple is 640 pages. And the Dio is 440. So these are big, big hardcovers, full color throughout. Those are all out through Schiffer recently. But yeah, lots, 135 books over the years. A lot of them are biographies. A few for motor books have been like Kiss at 50, Van Halen at 50, Bowie at 75, Guns N' Roses at 40. I've had some ones that I dusted off and re-edited and fixed typos and added some stuff to and put out again with new covers and new titles. That would be your Max Webster, your Whitesnake, your Accept, Scorpions, Merciful Fate as well. So at my site, martinpopoff.com, I've got about 35, 40 titles for sale of the 135. I pared it down after the tariff situation caused some complications. But yeah, all of that's there. I'm still a mail order guy of my own books, but yeah, it's just all old classic rock and dad rock, basically.
All right. Well, tell my followers where they can find your books online.
You can go to Amazon, but like I say, also martinpopoff.com for ones that I will sign and send out from my office here in Toronto. So there's prices there with the shipping included. And so that's a place to get, bulk in boxes and stuff like that. Like I say, I've got 35 or so available. All bookstores as well. I was in a big chain bookstore here in Canada the other day. I was pleased to see probably 8 of my books in there, which was nice. That's probably the most I've seen in one spot. So yeah, but mainly martinpopoff.com.
That is fantastic. Well, Martin, I thank you for your time. I would also like to thank Steve Roth from Porto Publishing for setting this interview up. And until your next book comes out, I will see you later.
All right, sounds good, Al.
Thanks for listening to Big Al's Rockin' Podcast. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe on your preferred podcast outlet. Visit BigAlRocks.com to find past episodes, on-demand links to my radio show, links to my social media, and other Big Al shenanigans. Most importantly, please like and share this episode. Peace out.